morning, you guys. I hate to start this in the car, but I am literally running behind. But I'm going to bring you guys along for the day. It's going to be a fun day. I actually just got back from a camping trip that I went on, an all-girls camping trip, and it was in one of my really good friends' hometowns. And it was fun to be in the camper and just kind of have like an easy couple of days. And it was just a great little quick weekend trip. But it's 12:30 now on Sunday, and I'm headed to a hair appointment that I'm so excited to bring you guys along for. I gave my hair a few months off of extensions, and now I'm putting them back in. I've just missed them so much, and I really enjoy the thickness and the brightness of the extension color, and I miss having them. And I mean, they're expensive. I obviously want to have them in my hair, right? I also ordered tinsel, and it's funny because I had tinsel years and years ago when I was like 19, 20 years old, and I honestly loved it so much. I thought it was so fun to have, and you can hide it like when you put your hair up and stuff, but I just wanted kind of something fun and like just different to do, so I ordered this gold beige type tinsel, and I'll show you guys when I get there. And my hairstylist has been awesome. She's the one that when I lived here and I wanted these extensions, she learned how to do them for me. We ordered the hair together. It was a whole process, and now she's back to taking care of my extensions, and now I've convinced her to try tinsel. I'm so excited. After I leave here, I'm supposed to meet Luke and his dad. I'll be meeting his dad for the first time, as long as the times overlap with enough time for me to meet him. This is going to be a very long appointment, so I'm heading over here a little bit early. And his dad's in town for a work situation. He lives about 2.5 hours away, so I'm excited to meet his dad potentially tonight and see Luke, because I haven't seen him since last week on Thursday. And yeah, so it's going to be a fun vlog today. Okay, here is the tinsel color. I just dropped my hair. I'll show you guys in the sunlight. It's so beautiful. I hope it looks good in my hair. My hair has kind of had a hard morning this morning.
I used to think that you were only mine, but I was blinded by a shallow light. I'll call your friends, I'll let them know that I'm so done with the tragic boys. Tonight I'll get into my zone. I'll dance until the
Hey guys, so it's been a minute since I filmed those clips. Obviously, it's been like several hair washes since then, because everything went buck wild, like not even 48 hours after that. And that's where all the harassment stuff started. So my plan for this video originally was to go from the hair clips and the hair appointment to going into my heartbreak story requested at the end of the last Q&A that I did. However, you guys now know that that story is really the story of Sam and I. And after everything that's come to light over this past week, I really think that it's in his best interest that I do not share that story, especially the way that I would want to share it, because I really wanted you guys to understand like how I can go from meeting someone to having my heart broken in just 7 weeks. But my whole goal here is to protect him from any kind of further backlash that I know he's probably getting from his ex still currently. So I want to give you guys just like a really condensed version, because I'm not going to give her any more ammo to use against him. Her vendetta against me has like spanned out. So I just want to talk about him in a positive light for a second and help you guys understand as easily as I can how our situation turned into what it did. So I just want to say it this way. In those 7 weeks, I was going through a lot with knowing I was leaving work, knowing I was moving. I was handling it all on my own. The anxiety of like moving yourself and 3 children across the US with one tiny U-Haul, and being you and your best girlfriend are driving across the country together, and just starting new jobs, figuring out the job situation and all of that, and knowing that I was going to be co-parenting with someone that I don't get along with. And granted, we get along fine now, but at the time it was very shaky and unknown. And he, for me in that period of time, he was such, even though he had just got there, it was like, for one, I felt like I had known him for a really long time. But for two, he was just always willing to listen. He was always so open to like giving me advice, and he was always just so respectful of me and like what was going on with me. And he was very patient with me. And that's sometimes I feel like hard to do. People tell me all the time that like it's hard for them to be patient with me. And he just did it so effortlessly. And during that time, you guys, it was like he was my rock for that period. I know that sounds insane for 7 weeks, but he is just a very kind-hearted person. I don't think I've ever in my life met someone who is so kind. Like, he's definitely at least top 3 I've ever known my entire life. He just exudes like this like humility and kindness, and it's hard to explain to you. Like, I wish you guys could see him on camera and just like see him and the way that he presents himself. You can just tell that he's such a good person. And I'll be honest, people like that scare the kind of person that his ex-wife is. People are threatened by that kind of person because they are just good down to their core. And there's absolutely nothing that he could do that would make me think otherwise about him. And I just want to be clear about that. He does not deserve any of this crap that's gone on. And neither does his child, who got brought into an adult situation. And I feel very bad that that's the choice that had to happen. I'm not understanding it still, and I'll never understand bringing a child into an adult situation. But yes, my heart did get broken at the end of it. I will not tell you guys anything about the disagreement because that would be ammo for her arsenal. I just want to say that it wholeheartedly was my fault, and I'm the one that messed things up. I did not want it to end, and I was sincerely heartbroken. I didn't know what to think. It was very fast, very just like sudden. And I felt like my heart was like ripped from me. It was very difficult because I was trying to navigate all that stuff that I had just mentioned, like moving here and all this stuff. And then bam, the person who had acted as like my rock, my safe haven, he was gone. Like, he was just absolutely gone. And in looking back, like in retrospect, yes, it worked out. And yes, it was my fault. And at first I did try to kind of blame him because I didn't know who else to blame, and it really was my own fault. But if anything that has transpired over the last week, it has shown me one thing. It's shown me that he's still an amazing person. And this is funny because I felt like we were actually not on good terms. Like, whenever he got back, obviously we have not spoken since he left in June. But it's funny because I feel like we were not on great terms, and then all this harassment stuff happened. And now I feel like we're fine. And if we ran into each other in public, it would be okay. And it wouldn't be awkward, and it would just be like, how are you? I hope that he knows by watching these videos that I deeply care about him as a person, and I'm sorry for what I did to, end things, and it really wasn't fair of me, and I completely take responsibility for that. Do you hear them fighting upstairs? It's supposed to be quiet movie time before bed. But if anything, all this stuff transpiring, it's funny how the world works, and it's kind of all like ended up in a good way. All this crap has really turned into something so positive. But that's really all I want to say about it, just to keep it private and protect him. Not that he did anything wrong, but I don't want to give all the details to someone conniving that watches this to try to get info and then uses it against him, because I know she has heard details that I've talked about, and she's bothered him with those details. So I'm not going to set him up to be attacked or anything like that. Just know that he is a wonderful guy, and he is just a really great person and doesn't deserve any of this. And I totally messed up. 100% responsibility. It was me. Admitting you're wrong, it's not fun. It's not fun. Let's go ahead and get into the update from the harassment stuff. This is the last update that I'm going to post about this. unless something dramatic were to happen after this, and it's very possible that it might, I'm not going to post anything else about it unless something were to happen. I don't want to keep beating this thing with like a, what do you call it? What's that statement? Beating it with a dead horse or something? I don't know. The Department of Public Safety did reach out to me via email, and it was very interesting what they had to say. I'm going to put a screenshot right here as always. Basically, he said blank has been previously licensed as the private investigator for our program. However, his license was recently voided and he no longer possesses an active private investigation license regulated by the Department of Public Safety. We'll keep record of your complaint, blah, 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 blah. I found this very fascinating considering he continuously has maintained that he's a private investigator, and that's like what he goes to. He makes it seem like he's a detective because he said that he was a detective, then he was a private investigator on a civilian side. But the truth is, you guys, he's actually a recruiter for an employment staffing agency. Very different fields. So I don't know why his license was voided. I'm not here to speculate and try to start anything. That's how stuff gets fabricated, and I'm not gonna do that. We can only speculate as to why. It could be something as simple as he just let his license lapse. As nurses, as like coders, whatever, if you have a license for your position, if it's regulated by some kind of board, your license can lapse and then it just gets voided. It could have been voided post a suspension for some reason. There's a lot of different reasons why it could be voided. So I'm not here to speculate that he's like a piece of crap and did something wrong. Would I be surprised? Absolutely not. But he is still falsifying that he's like still a private investigator. He's not. Am I surprised that he's not? No. But as much as they both claimed it and were like so like proud, like he's a PI, he's looked up stuff on you. I mean, I'm a little surprised that he doesn't have a license, and I was kind of surprised that he's just like a recruiter for a staffing agency. Definitely not at all what either of them said that he did. So, but that's the only update that I have right now. Yes, everything is documented the way that it should be. Shall this continue? It would be really stupid on their end to continue this because it's all documented, and it already isn't great for either of them. But I'm not gonna keep coming on here like talking about it unless, again, something changes. I do want to make one thing very clear, and I know Morty, I know she's watching, and I want to make this very clear to my target audience, if you will. She's very lucky that I'm a forgiving person and that I'm a relatively calm person, because one day people with this kind of behavior, they don't change, you guys. Narc traits are very hard to overcome, especially when you're blind to them. And in her mind, you guys, please understand, she truly believes that I came after her in some way. When narcs lie, they convince themselves that it's the truth. So even when they know there's no proof of it, in their mind, they've already convinced themselves. So she's already convinced that I personally attacked her by doing whatever it is that I'm doing, okay? And I want her to know that she's very lucky that I'm super forgiving and calm, okay? Because one day she's gonna do this to the wrong person. And she is going to end up being in severe fear for her life because people are crazy. And I would hate for her to get herself into a situation where she does this to the wrong person who doesn't have anything to lose, and they truly go after her. And she truly is not this cry wolf, I'm scared for my life, but true fear for her life. Believe me, it's not a place that she wants to be. And I sincerely hope that she stops this mess, because the next time it's going to be someone who's not me, and they are going to come after her, and it's not going to be great. And who knows if they would cause like physical harm, or she's going to need to trespass on whatever person comes after her. It's very scary, especially in the day that we live in, to act this way. I just hope that that message comes across, because people in this world this is not the same world that we grew up in, and this is not the kind of world where I even want to beat my horn at somebody on the street. Like, I don't even want to like road rage, hit my horn in traffic, because you just don't know truly who you're messing with, especially when it's someone that you've never met and don't know from Adam, and you're coming at them with like all these like allied forces that you supposedly have. It's just not a smart thing to do. So that's where I'm going to leave this whole harassment thing. That's how I want to leave it. Just that everything's documented, and she'd be really stupid to continue on this like vendetta against me. It's so adolescent and pathetic. Like, we all know that. But wholeheartedly, do I think it's over with? Absolutely not. I do want to say, however, on the most positive note to end this video, we have raised almost $400 for the Iowa Coalition Against Domestic Violence. That is the organization that we all that we're going with to donate this money to. The classy merch has been up. The link is in the description box and the comment box. And guys, it's been so much, like, just so much joy has been brought to me from raising money out of this insane harassment scandal. Like, channeling this into raising money for a great organization that helps stop domestic violence is absolutely like amazing. I'm gonna put the link to the website also so you guys can check them out. They just do so much in the state of Iowa for this kind of issue, and we all know that domestic violence was a big part of my life, and so this is a really important organization, and I'm so glad that we all voted for this one. But again, thank you guys so much for all of your orders. They should be starting to go out like in the next week or so, maybe even some in a few days, and I cannot wait to see everyone's pictures in them. And I'm still just mind blown by the support, and I cannot wait to see everyone in their classy sweaters. Guys, this has just been like a wild ride from like day one, and it's only been a week. Like, today is actually 1 week since this started, and it's already been like this roller coaster. And then like, oh, we're gonna sell merch. We've raised $400, like almost $400. And so I'm so happy, and I can't thank you guys enough for just being a support system for me here. This has been like a really weird situation. However, I mean, it is what it is, and something positive has come out of it, and that's all thanks to you guys for your idea for the merch and for you guys buying the merch. And I'm just so happy that we're able to channel this into something great. That's going to be all for tonight's video. I'm going to drink this wine. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.